Hey everyone, my name is KryptoCal, and welcome to the next episode of Mods 9, GregTech Gauntlet. In the last episode, we did a bunch of work. We got a bunch of EBFs set up with a bunch of new materials coming in. Some of them include the HSSG ingots, the hot tungsten carbide, and then also we have hot HSSE, and a couple other ones as well, which has us firmly planted in IV, and we're ready to press on and get more done. And boy, do we have a lot to do. There are a bunch of chemical processes that we're going to have to set up to be able to get PBI automated. So I think what we're going to do to start off this episode is we're going to do a bit of a montage. So you're going to get to hear voiceover Cal. I don't know what voiceover Cal sounds like, but I'm kind of scared. And the first thing that we did was some building. We realized that we were going to need way more space for all the chemical reactors as we progressed. So we stacked the large room on top of itself, made a few adjustments, and created this extra large room, which is going to be perfect for multi-blocks. This is awesome. We have so much extra space to work with now. Our first steps to our PBI involve getting nitration mixture, which is made inside of a mixer with nitric acid and sulfuric acid, chlorobenzene, an LCR recipe made by combining chlorine and benzene. Those two then mix together in an LCR to make nitrochlorobenzene, which is then combined with hydrogen and copper dust to make dichlorobenzidine. And unfortunately, that's where we have to put a pause on PBI, because the LCR recipe to make diaminobenzidine has to be run at IV, which we can't do until we get the EV energy hatches. So that's going to be our next goal. So this side quest is going to involve us coming down here to the bottom and getting a little bit of this stuff under production before we can go back up and finish. So all we have to really do here is get the phosphorus doped stuff and move our way down and get to the point where we make the EV energy hatch. You can also get the 4 amp energy hatch from this once we have the main one. Unfortunately, these don't let us actually overclock a recipe tier. It just lets us run them at higher speeds, which is great, but it doesn't solve our problem right now. What we're going to have to do is do a little bit of work. We're going to have to set up some stuff for the phosphorus doped wafers and get all those chips underway. And this stuff does require a clean room, so we're either going to have to make use of a clean room we've already built, or we're going to have to make another clean room for this wing. To be honest, I think it might be worth it just to set up another one over here, because we are going to need to have quite a bit of stuff going in there in the future. So we'll probably make a decent sized clean room off to the side over here, and we'll be able to get all of that stuff up and running. And so I'm going to set up this EBF right now for the phosphorus doped silicon boule. It only requires cantho coils, but I think if you do 2 coils higher, it'll give us a better speed. So what's 2 coils higher than cantho? Is that RTM? So let's take 16 of these, and that'll let us hopefully run this silicon recipe a little bit faster, because if not, it is a very slow grind. As long as this is not actually facing the interface, it won't try to auto pull from it. We can basically just use a robot arm to specify exactly how many we want coming into the input bus instead of having it just auto pull. We've been doing that in the past. I just wasn't sure if I had shown that off at any point or not. We'll put in our item filter, and we'll change this to be keep exact. We want silicon to be at 64 because that's the required amount for the recipe to run. The other ones we'll keep at like 16 of each or so. We are low on phosphorus, and that's because we don't really have a great way to produce it right now. And the one that we're going to go for, I think, for some more phosphorus production is going to be electrolyzing apatite. Every 7.5 seconds or so, we can get 3 phosphorus, which is going to be plenty. The only thing that I'm realizing is in this room, we are kind of running out of room, and we're completely out of space on our HV machine wall. I guess what we'll do then, because we do need some more space, is I'll extend this design upwards, and I'll just stack another layer of HV machines on top and make a giant HV machine wall. So I'm going to get that electrolyzer set up and get the apatite running, and then hopefully we should see that phosphorus boule coming in. And a short time later, we have the electrolyzer up and running here. I made a new extra area where we have much more room for expansion now for more HV machines if we want to in the future. But we have calcium and phosphorus being produced here. And over here at our setup, we have basically the EBF ready to go. We have the interface stocking all the required ingredients. All we should have to do is grab ourselves a maintenance hatch, throw it on here, and this should start to work. Recipe can't run without an output bus. There we go. Now it's running, and it's taking 150 seconds to run this recipe. Now, this would normally be 300 seconds. This normally takes 300 seconds at EV, but because we are overclocking the coils 2 tiers above what the recipe calls for, it is giving us an extra tier of speed, which is great. I'm going to give this thing some upgrades. There's no reason we can't just have this thing running all the time. I mean, heck, I'll throw a void upgrade if it ever gets to the point where it is filling up that drawer full of these boules. We've played this series too long. I'm going to be probably upgrading these as soon as we can to the higher tiers of voltage because we are still quite short on a lot of these resources, mainly the tungsten carbide and HSSG. We haven't really backfilled those yet. HSSE is coming in pretty slowly too, so we'll want to upgrade everything. There we go. Phosphorus dopes, monocrystalline silicon boule. Nice. Quest complete. That was the first step. Next, we have to get the doped wafers. Once we have these and we get some of these SOCs, we're also going to be able to start making the best tiers of the LV circuits, which are the microprocessor chips. Like, this is super cheap. We're going to have to probably increase our production of plastic circuit boards, but for the most part, this is a really good recipe. And it does require a clean room. So what we'll do is we'll probably just set this up inside of our clean room as well. We get 6 microprocessor chips. And we're going to want to be doing that as we go along and we get access to those really good recipes. We're going to want to basically scrap our production of the old LV circuits and just focus all of our resources on the new ones because they are going to be where all the value is at. So while we have a couple of those silicon boules being made up over there, I'm going to use this side room and we're going to make a pretty decent size clean room in here because going forward, there's a good chance that we're going to have quite a bit to do inside the clean room. So not being bottlenecked for space is going to be really good. And setting up a clean room is really simple now because we know how to build it for one, but then also we have all the resources pretty much on passive already. All right, so because this is a very, very large clean room, maybe even too large, I'm not sure why I built this max size, this is going to take a long time to clean. I hope this goes up by 10% here when this goes, because if not, this is going to be a very long time. So our first step here is going to be getting these doped wafers. There's not really a reason, though, to have this running very fast, simply because we only have one of these coming in every like 150 seconds. And because this is the only space that we are making them, I don't see a reason to have multiples or having them very fast. HV should be plenty for what we're going to need here. And I'll just set this up in here with our wireless connector. I hooked this in underground again, just to keep it easy. It actually really isn't hard to bring in the AE. I was overhyping how difficult it's going to be. I think all you have to have is just a hull. Like you can just put a machine hull in. If you put one of these down, I'm pretty sure this is how you pass through. Yeah, see these hook in. This is how you pass through cables. Oh, it is fully clean. Wait, what? I'm not sure how much it went up in cleanliness per cycle. Maybe it was 20%. Maybe that's why it was fast. All right, anyway, we now have our cutter here. We're probably going to do the exact same trick as we did with the other setups and put a interface here where we are going to use laser IO to do all of the logistics once all the items are here. We'll use AE2 just to keep things in stock. But at least temporarily, let's just do something really simple here. Let's just put an extruder or an interface on each side here. We'll hook this in with some cable. That should take 2 channels total. And we just need a ton of lasers. Probably just do something really simple with the drawer controller too. Just have it like sitting in this room and linking all the drawers in here. Then we'll just put a storage bus. Yeah, so now we'll just put these on top and they'll be responsible for probably the left and right side of the room respectively. We'll start this here with this HV side and we're just going to do the laser node. What color should the left side be? It could be like a mint. I do not like though that this line shows. And there's nothing I can do about it. Actually, there is something I can do about it, and it's so unbelievably unnecessary. I can put a laser connector at the bottom. I can run this up to here. We'll have a connector there. So basically what we're going to do is have this thing hook into the bottom one, and then have this hook into this one. So the laser runs under the room. And then that one hooks up into this. Okay, look at that. It's connected. Anyway, we're just going to hook these all together and that should be good. All we should have to do is just set this up and filter so we're sending in the wafers or the boules and that should start cutting once it has power, of course. Next up, we want to get the system on a chips, but also the most important one here is we want to get the MPIC wafers, and those are what we're going to use then to make the EV energy hatches and the 4 amp EV energy hatch. To make the MPIC wafers, we have to take the wafers and send them through an engraver with a brown lens. So we have to make sure we have that available. Do we have glass lenses? No, we don't. I gotta set up those 2 things. I'll be right back. There we go. I have a chemical reactor and also a chemical bath available for AutoCraft now. So I can go ahead and search brown lens. And we should have everything we need in storage here to craft this up. We'll hit start, and this should start doing its thing. The recipe for the brown lens is not working. Why is it not working? It's waiting on the glass lens. Oh, wait a minute. The pattern provider pushed the item instead of into the machine. It pushed it into the drawer beside it because the drawer wasn't locked. So now that I have locked this, let's try this one more time. It's just these like niche things you find that you forget to lock one drawer or you forget to set one output and it just backs up your whole process. It's crazy. Anyway, we've made a bunch of the phosphorus wafers now. So let's go ahead and get these stocked up. We'll set the auto output to the bottom. And we also want to make sure we lock this drawer. All right, laser engraver is... All right, so laser engraver down here. We're going to go ahead and make sure that this has the brown lens in, and then we're going to have this auto output the phosphorus wafers into this, and that'll give us the MPIC wafers. Well, now that we have the MPIC wafers, we have to request them in this side here. That's going to be the side for EV, and that's going to have to go into an EV cutter. Oh, I see a material that we are missing. Ultimate. So it's an EBF, needs to be made in dust with cobalt, nickel, chromium, and molybdenum. Not a problematic recipe. Congratulations, traveler, you've unlocked a new side quest. To the mixers. There we go. Ultimate dust is being made. Input bus probably needs to be on 2. Hey, there we go. Oh, you just... All right, well, while I'm waiting for this to clean itself again and make those chips, I can at least go ahead and preemptively, let's get the EV energy hatch recipe set. So if I request one, what's it gonna say we're missing? Okay, we gotta make the recipe for extreme voltage coils. We have all these, I think, already. It's a circuit 1 assembler recipe at EV though. I think we already have a C1. It's just HV, so we just gotta upgrade that to EV. All right, well, now we're just waiting for that clean room to be ready, and then we should be able to craft up our first EV energy hatch. We looked ahead and we realized that we actually can get the IV energy hatch too really quickly right after this. All we have to do is get a couple more things automated here. We already have laminated glass being made. It's just a matter of getting an IV cutter, this other chip here, but then also we have to get the insane voltage coil, which is made inside of an IV assembler with neodymium rods and the iridium wire. Iridium we are making already in the overworld. Yeah, it's being brought in, the iridium ingots. So all we have to do is set up a fine wire automation for this, and we are pretty much golden. Yeah, apart from that, there's not really much we can't get, but I am going to have to upgrade again that assembler I just set up in EV. I had to set it up for IV. It's clean. We have circuits. We have chips. And so now that we have those, guess what we can make? EV energy hatch. It doesn't say no. I can do it. How many should I make? Should I make 4? I can make 4. We're stress testing it. We're going to stress test it and see if it has any issues. The EV energy hatch. And now we can send them in with some other stuff to make the 4 amp hatch too. All right, look at this. I can also get the 4 amp EV hatch. Oh, this has to go in the clean room. All right, a little bit of work has been done in the clean room. I have now a area up top here that I've designated for IV. I have some platinum cable here using it as our temporary cable solution for the moment until we get the superconductor. Indium gallium, really straightforward to make. This is just like a 1-step mixing recipe with indium, phosphorus, and gallium. So yeah, all this is actually really straightforward to get that set up. The only thing that we're going to be probably running out of is the MPIC wafers, because these are what we're also using to turn into the chips over here. So they are going to be required for not only the MPIC wafer, but also the HPIC wafers. Now this does take 60 seconds to make, so that isn't going to be a very fast process, but we are going to have to make sure we do have some extras. This takes 45 seconds here, and this takes 45 seconds here. So theoretically, if we give this infinite storage, this will never have any extra for this one to have. So we're going to have to either set up a different laser engraver or another one, or we just change this to be an EV engraver and move this over to here, which I think is going to be the play. We have to make sure we have an EV one before I place that down. Oh, please. No. We can't make the laser engraver at EV yet. Quantum Eye, which takes radon. We haven't set up yet. Never mind, you're going back for now. Yeah, what I'll do is I'll just grab a couple out of here. We'll downgrade this so it only ever has 64 in here at a time. And then this will start to back up. And then once this fully backs up, then it should overflow. We should have some extras here being made. And then that'll let this one start making them too. It's kind of a temporary solution until we do have the ability to make the EV laser engraver. Once we have that, then we should be able to keep up with that, no problem. But until then, this will do the trick. And this is going to be making the indium gallium phosphide dust. All right, there we go. The 60-second process has been started of getting us our first HPIC wafer. And we need an IV cutter. Oh, please tell me I could make an IV cutter. Oh, I'm so scared. I can't. I don't think I can. Oh, I can actually do it. I can just request an IV cutter. That's crazy. Oh my goodness. We're actually making it straight up. I mean, we're not cooking with gas right now. All right, we're here. We've ascended. This is it. IV energy hatch. What are the odds of us just being able to straight up make this right now? Ready? 3, 2, 1. We can make it. Grace, look at it. Behold its glory. Hey. How's it go? Oh, yeah. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. I really hope you did enjoy this episode. If you did enjoy, feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't already, be sure to join the Discord. The link is in the description down below. That's it from me, everybody. I hope you have a good one, and we'll catch you in the next episode. Bye.